I never imagined that the man I once trusted with my whole heart would become the source of my deepest pain. That day started like any other. I had packed lunch for my husband, Zion, and decided to surprise him at his office. Being 6 months pregnant, every step I took felt heavier, but my heart was light, filled with excitement to see him. I thought he would smile at the sight of me, cradle my belly, and ask about our unborn child. Little did I know, that single visit would shatter the fragile world I thought we had built together. When I entered his office, the first thing I noticed was silence, the kind of silence that made my skin crawl. The blinds were half drawn, and the air carried a faint trace of perfume that was not mine. I opened the door wider, only to freeze in place. My husband was there, but he wasn't alone. A woman, younger, dressed in a sleek red dress, stood too close to him, her manicured hand resting on his chest. The sight knocked the breath out of me. For a moment, my legs felt weak, my hands trembled, and my heart refused to accept what my eyes had seen. Zion, my voice cracked, a mixture of disbelief and pain. He jumped back, guilt flashing across his face, but before he could speak, the woman turned toward me with a smirk that sent chills down my spine. "So this is your wife," she sneered, her voice dripping with mockery. My heart pounded as I placed a protective hand on my belly. The child inside me was innocent, undeserving of the storm unfolding in front of us. I stepped forward, tears stinging my eyes. "How could you?" I whispered, looking straight at my husband. But before I could gather the courage to demand answers, the mistress stormed toward me, her face twisted in rage. "You don't belong here," she hissed, and in the next moment, something I never thought another woman could do, she raised her foot and kicked me right in my pregnant belly. Pain shot through me like fire. I gasped, clutching my stomach, stumbling backward. My scream filled the office, and Zion froze as though paralyzed. Time slowed. The only sound was the hammering of my heart and the panic that swallowed me whole. My hands shook as I cradled my belly, terrified for my baby's life. "How dare you?" I cried, my voice broken. I looked at Zion, expecting him to come to me, to protect me, but he just stood there, torn between me and her, his silence louder than any words. That was the moment something inside me broke. My tears dried, replaced by a cold resolve I never knew I had. With every ounce of strength I had left, I pulled myself up and glared at the mistress. "You may think you've won, but you'll never have what I carry inside me, his child, our future. You'll never be more than a shadow in the story of my life." My words shook, but I meant every syllable. Security guards rushed in after hearing the commotion. They restrained her as she screamed, while Zion tried to explain, stuttering, reaching out for me. But I stepped back, my arms wrapped protectively around my belly. "Don't touch me," I whispered. "You chose her the moment you let her near. You lost me the second you stood still while she hurt our child." His face crumbled, but my decision was already made. The hospital became my refuge. I was rushed there immediately, my heart racing, praying desperately that my baby was safe. Hours felt like years as I lay on the hospital bed, waiting. And then, finally, the doctor came with the words that saved me: "Your baby is strong. The child survived the trauma." Tears of relief poured down my face as I whispered gratitude to God. In that moment, I knew this child was meant to be my strength. The weeks that followed were not easy. Zion begged for forgiveness, bringing gifts, sending messages, and even waiting outside the hospital during my checkups. But I couldn't erase the image of him standing still while his mistress attacked me. Trust, once broken, does not heal with flowers or apologies. My parents stood by me, holding me up when I felt too weak to stand. I realized that love is not about clinging to someone who betrays you, it is about protecting your dignity, your peace, and your child. Months later, I gave birth to a healthy baby boy. The first time I held him in my arms, I felt a power I had never known before. His tiny fingers curled around mine, and I promised him that I would give him a life filled with love, safety, and respect. I no longer needed Zion. The day I walked out of his life was the day I found myself again. As for his mistress, karma has a way of balancing the scales. I heard later that she left him once his money ran out, and he was left alone, drowning in regret. But by then, none of it mattered to me. I had built a new life, surrounded by people who truly loved me, and every time I looked into my son's eyes, I saw proof that strength is born from the deepest wounds. To anyone listening to my story, remember this: betrayal does not define you. Pain may break you, but it also rebuilds you into someone stronger. Never let anyone's cruelty take away your worth. Protect your heart, protect your child, and walk away with your head held high. Because sometimes, losing what you thought you needed is the first step to finding the life you truly deserve.